My name is Tasha Marie Williams. I'm 42 years old now, but when this story starts, I was 34, 8 months pregnant with my first baby, and standing in my mama's living room, surrounded by 40 of my closest friends and family, at what was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, my baby shower. Girl, let me tell you something. When I say I thought I had it all figured out, I mean I thought I had it all figured out. I was married to Marcus Williams, fine as hell, 6'2", dark-skinned brother, worked in corporate finance, made good money. We had a nice 3-bedroom house in a good neighborhood, 2 cars paid off. Both of us had good jobs. I was a nurse at Grady Hospital, been there for 8 years. Good benefits, good pay, good everything. We'd been married for 6 years, together for 9. And girl, when I tell you I loved that man, I loved that man. Like, stupid in love. The kind of love where you making his plate before yours. The kind of love where you iron his shirts on Sunday night. The kind of love where you think y'all gonna be together forever. You feel me? So when we found out I was pregnant, after trying for 3 years, after 2 miscarriages that almost broke me, after I had damn near given up hope, when we finally got that positive test, girl, I thought God had answered all my prayers at once. Marcus cried. Real tears, y'all. This grown man, this corporate finance brother who don't show emotion to nobody, cried in my arms when I showed him that test. We're having a baby, Tasha. We're really having a baby. That's what he said. And for 8 months. 8 months. Everything was perfect. Or so I thought. He went to every doctor's appointment. Well, almost everyone. He missed a few towards the end. Said he had important meetings at work. Projects that couldn't wait. Big clients to close. You know, corporate stuff. I understood. I mean, he was the main breadwinner. I was planning to take maternity leave. Somebody had to keep that money coming in, right? He was excited about the baby. Talking about names. Building the nursery, buying little onesies and tiny shoes, acting like a proud daddy-to-be, posting on Facebook about my beautiful wife and our blessing on the way. My mama loved him. Tasha, you got yourself a good man, she'd always say. A man who takes care of his family. That's rare these days, baby. My girls loved him too. My best friend Nia, my cousin Shanice, my sister Kimberly. All of them thought I had hit the jackpot. Girl, Marcus is fine and he got a good job? Hold on to that one. So when my mama and my sister planned my baby shower, I was just happy. You know? Pure happiness. They went all out too. Mama's house was decorated with pink and gold balloons. Pink and gold everything, actually. Because we were having a girl. My baby girl. Amara Rose. That's what we were gonna name her. There was a dessert table with pink cupcakes, a gift table piled high with presents wrapped in pink paper, games set up. Guess the baby food and don't say baby and all that shower stuff. A diaper cake that my cousin spent 3 hours making, pink lemonade and crystal pitchers, finger sandwiches and fruit trays and all of Mama's good cooking. I was wearing a pink maxi dress, with my belly out there for everybody to see, feeling beautiful, feeling blessed, feeling like this was my day, my moment. The house was full, 40 women, my mama, Marcus's mama, both our grandmamas, my sisters, his sisters, my aunties, his aunties, my cousins, my girls from work, my girls from church, my sorority sisters, everybody. We were laughing, playing games, taking pictures. I was sitting in the mama-to-be chair, the one they decorated special for me, with a pink sash that said mommy-to-be across my chest, opening gifts, smiling so hard my face hurt. Somebody had just handed me this cute little pink onesie that said Daddy's Girl, and I was holding it up for everybody to see, thinking about how cute my baby was gonna look in it, when Marcus got home from his emergency work thing, and then, right in the middle of me opening that gift, right in the middle of my mama's living room, right in the middle of my baby shower, the doorbell rang. My sister Kimberly went to answer it. I heard her say, "Can I help you?" And then I heard a voice I didn't recognize. A woman's voice. High-pitched, kinda squeaky. "I'm here for Tasha Williams' baby shower." Now I'm thinking maybe it's somebody I forgot I invited. Or maybe somebody's plus one. So I'm just sitting there, smiling, waiting to see who it is. Kimberly walks back into the living room. And she got this look on her face. This confused look. Like she don't know whether to be mad or just confused. And behind her, walks in this woman. White girl, blonde hair, blue eyes, mid-20s maybe, probably 25, 26, wearing a tight dress, heels, full makeup, carrying a gift bag, a pink gift bag with tissue paper sticking out the top. And y'all, this girl was pregnant. Pregnant. Had to be about 6 months from the look of her belly. The room went silent. You could hear a pin drop. 40 women. Not a sound. Everybody just staring. The girl looked around the room, smiled this weird little smile. And then her eyes landed on me. "Tasha?" she said. I nodded, still confused. Still smiling, but now it's that nervous smile. That, I don't know what's happening, but I'm trying to be polite smile. "Yes, that's me. I'm sorry, have we met?" She laughed. This little uncomfortable laugh. And then she said something that made my blood run cold. "No, we haven't met, but I feel like I know you." She patted her belly. "I'm Amber, Marcus's girlfriend." Chile. The room erupted. Gasps. "Oh, hell no. What did she just say?" My mama's voice. "Excuse me? But me?" I couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. I just sat there, in that stupid pink dress, with that stupid mommy-to-be sash, holding that stupid daddy's girl onesie, 8 months pregnant, staring at this white girl, who just said she was my husband's girlfriend, and she was pregnant. "I'm sorry, what?" I finally managed to say. My voice didn't even sound like my voice. Amber shifted her weight, starting to look uncomfortable now. Like maybe she was realizing this wasn't the reception she expected. "Marcus and we've been together for about 2 years now." She said it so casual, like she was talking about the weather. I thought, he told me you knew. "Knew?" That was my mama, standing up now, all 5'3" of her, looking like she was about to jump over that coffee table. "He told you she knew? Knew what? That her husband was out here with you?" Amber's face went pale. "Husband?" she whispered. "Marcus he's married? To you?" And right then, right in that moment, I realized this girl didn't know. She thought she was the main one. She thought I was the other woman. "Girl," I said, and my voice was shaking now, not from sadness, from rage. Pure, unfiltered, 8 months pregnant rage. Not only is Marcus married to me, we've been married for 6 years, together for 9. And this, I pointed at my belly, this is his baby, his first baby, that he's been excited about for 8 months. Amber's gift bag slipped out of her hands, hit the floor, tissue paper went everywhere. "No," she whispered. "No, that's not." He told me he was single. He said he wanted to start a family with me. He said, and then this girl, this poor, stupid, pregnant white girl, burst into tears. Right there in my mama's living room, at my baby shower. But you know what? I didn't feel sorry for her. Not one bit. Not right then anyway. All I could think was, where is Marcus? Where is my husband? And what the hell is going on? My girl Nia grabbed her purse. "Tasha, where is Marcus right now?" "He said he had to handle something at the office," I said, my voice sounding hollow, far away. "He said he'd be here by 3. Nia pulled out her phone, started calling him. It went straight to voicemail. She called again. Voicemail. Again. Voicemail. This man done turned his phone off, Nia said. Her face was set. You know that look black women get when they're past mad and into handling business mode? That's the look she had. Somebody find this man. Now. My cousin Shanice was already on it. Pulled up Find My Friends on her phone. Because, yeah, Marcus and I had shared locations. You know, for safety. Ha. He at the Marriott downtown, Shanice announced. The Marriott, downtown, not at the office, at a hotel. Let's go, Nia said, already heading for the door. Wait, my mama said. She grabbed my arm gently, looked at me with those mama eyes, those eyes that have seen everything, done everything, survived everything. Baby, you are 8 months pregnant. You are not about to go chasing after some man. Not in your condition. You understand me? I wanted to argue. I wanted to jump up, waddle my pregnant behind out that door, march into that hotel, and destroy Marcus Williams. But Mama was right. I was 8 months pregnant. High-risk pregnancy because of my age and the previous miscarriages. Doctor had me on modified bed rest. I wasn't supposed to be stressed. Stress. Hey. I'll go, Nia said. Me too, said Shanice. Me 3, said Kimberly. Basically, half the women at my baby shower grabbed their purses, grabbed their keys, and headed out to find my husband, leaving me sitting there, in Mama's living room, with the other half, and Amber, this pregnant white girl who thought she was his only one. Mama made me sit down, brought me some water. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold the glass. Amber was still crying, sitting on Mama's couch now, mascara running down her face. I didn't know, she kept saying. I swear to God I didn't know. He told me he was single. He said he worked long hours. That's why he couldn't always see me. He said he traveled for work. I never thought. How far along are you? I heard myself ask. My voice was cold, detached, like I was asking a patient at the hospital, not the woman who was pregnant by my husband. 6 months, she whispered. I'm due in February. February. I was due in December, which meant. So he got you pregnant while I was already pregnant, I said flatly. Amber looked up at me. Fresh tears. I didn't know, she whispered again. And you know what? I believed her. I believed that this girl was just as played as I was. But that didn't make me feel better. It made me feel worse. Because if she didn't know about me, and I didn't know about her, that meant Marcus was out here real comfortable, living a whole double life, lying to both of us, getting both of us pregnant, and thinking he was going to get away with it. My phone started ringing. It was Nia. I answered. What? Girl, Nia said, and I could hear in her voice that it was bad. We here at the hotel. Front desk confirmed he checked in this morning. Room 817. We bout to go up. You want us on FaceTime? Did I want to see this? Did I want to see whatever they were about to find? Yeah, I said. FaceTime me. Nia switched the call to video. I could see her face, Shanice beside her, Kimberly, my girls, my riders, looking ready for war. They got in the elevator, rode up to the 8th floor, walked down the hall. Room 817. Nia knocked, loud. Boom, boom, boom. Housekeeping, she yelled. Nothing. She knocked again. Housekeeping, open up. Still nothing. Oh, he think he's slick, Shanice muttered. And then, y'all not gonna believe this. Kimberly, my sister, this church-going, kindergarten-teaching, proper-acting woman, kicked that hotel door, kicked it, like she was in an action movie. The door flew open, not all the way, but enough, because Marcus hadn't put the deadbolt on, just that little swipe lock. And there was Marcus, my husband, coming out of the bathroom, in nothing but a towel. What the? He started. And then he saw my sister, saw Nia, saw Shanice, saw the phone, saw me on the screen, his face. Oh, his face. Went from confused to shocked to oh shit, I'm caught in about 2 seconds. Tasha, he started. Where's she at? Nia demanded, pushing past him into the room. Phone still pointed at everything. And then I saw her, another woman, Latina, maybe early 30s, wrapped in the bedsheet, looking terrified, not Amber, a third woman, Chili. When I tell you my heart stopped. When I tell you everything I thought I knew about my life, about my marriage, about my husband, shattered. In that moment, I'm talking shattered, like glass, like a mirror, into a million tiny pieces that I knew I would never be able to put back together. Tasha, baby, listen, Marcus was saying, reaching for the phone, but Nia pulled back. Don't you dare touch this phone. Don't you dare try to explain. You got a whole wife, a pregnant wife, at her baby shower, and you up here with another woman? And you got Amber at the house, Shanice added. Pregnant Amber. How many women you got, Marcus? Marcus's face went even more pale, if that was possible. Amber's where? He whispered. At my baby shower, I said, and my voice didn't even shake. It was just empty. At my baby shower. 6 months pregnant. Thought she was your girlfriend. Thought I was the other woman. Chile, you really out here living a whole soap opera life. Tasha, I can explain. He tried again. No, I said. Simply, clearly. You can't. You can't explain this. You can't explain any of this. I looked at Nia. Y'all come back to Mama's house. I need y'all here with me. We on our way, Nia said. And then she turned the camera to Marcus one more time. You a sorry excuse for a man, she said. And when Tasha's done with you, you gonna wish you never met her. She hung up. And I was left sitting in my mama's living room, at my baby shower, with half my guests gone to confront my husband, the other half sitting around looking at me with pity, and Amber, my husband's pregnant side chick, crying on the couch. This was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. The day I celebrated my miracle baby. The day I felt surrounded by love. Instead, it was the day my whole world fell apart. But you know what, girl? That was also the day something else happened. Something I didn't realize right then. In that moment of pain and shock and betrayal, that was the day Tasha Marie Williams died. The old Tasha. The Tasha who lived for Marcus. The Tasha who made his plate first. The Tasha who believed in fairy tales. That Tasha died in my mama's living room, at 8 months pregnant, at her own baby shower. But something else was being born that day, along with the fire and the rage and the pain. A new Tasha was coming. A Tasha who was going to rise from these ashes. A Tasha who was going to show Marcus Williams and show the world what a real, strong black woman looks like. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up. Let me tell you how I got from that day to where I am now. Because, honey, the journey from broken to blessed, that's the real story. So there I was, 8 months pregnant, sitting in my mama's house, surrounded by pink decorations that now felt like a cruel joke. Half my baby shower guests had left to hunt down my husband. The other half were sitting around looking at me like I was going to shatter into a million pieces. And Amber, this pregnant white girl, was still on my mama's couch, crying. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. Texts coming through like crazy, from people who weren't even at the shower. Because you know how black folks are. News travels fast. Fast. Girl, I just heard what happened at your shower. Is it true Marcus got a white girl pregnant? Tasha, you okay? Call me. I knew something was off about him. That last one made me want to throw my phone. Everybody always knew something was off after the fact. Where was all that intuition before, huh? But I couldn't even focus on that. Because my mind was spinning, racing, trying to make sense of something that made no sense. 2 years with Amber. 2 years. While he was married to me. while we were trying to have a baby, while I was crying over miscarriages, while I was praying to God to bless us with a child. He was out there with her. And this other woman, this Latina woman in the hotel. How long had that been going on? How many were there? How many women had my husband been with? While I was home, being faithful, being a good wife, being a fool. Tasha, baby. That was my mama, sitting down next to me, taking my hand. "We gonna get through this," she said. Her voice was soft, but I could see the anger in her eyes, the rage that only a black mama feels when somebody hurts her child. "Mama," I whispered. "How did I not know? How did I not see this? Baby, you can't blame yourself for trusting your husband. That's what marriage is. Trust. He's the one who violated that. Not you." But I did blame myself. Looking back now, there were signs. The late nights at the office, the business trips that seemed to happen more and more, the phone that he started keeping face down all the time, the way he'd take calls in the other room, the times he'd come home and shower immediately. "Long day, baby. Gotta wash off the stress." That wasn't stress he was washing off. That was her. That was them. How had I been so stupid? My phone buzzed again. This time it was Naya. "We outside." A minute later, my girls came back in. Nia, Shanice, Kimberly. They looked at me, then at Amber, then back at me. "What we doing with her?" Shanice asked, pointing at Amber like she was a piece of furniture. I looked at this girl, this young, pregnant white girl, who had no idea she was the other woman, just like I had no idea she existed. "Let her go," I said quietly. "What?" Shanice was not having it. "Tasha, this girl, is just as played as I am," I finished. "She didn't know. And right now, I got bigger problems than her." Amber stood up, slow, like she was afraid sudden movements might make us attack her. "I'm sorry," she whispered, looking at me with red, swollen eyes. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. If I had known..." "It don't matter now," I said, and I meant it. "Go home, Amber. Figure out what you gonna do. 'Cause I promise you, Marcus ain't worth the trouble." She nodded, grabbed her purse, left that pink gift bag on Mama's floor, and walked out. Soon as the door closed behind her, I broke. Started crying. Not that pretty crying you see in movies. That ugly crying. That can't catch your breath crying. That snot-running, body-shaking, soul-deep crying. My mama held me. My girls surrounded me. And I cried like I ain't never cried before. For my marriage, for my trust, for my baby girl who was gonna be born into this mess, for the life I thought I had, for the man I thought I married. All of it was a lie. All of it. "We need to get you home," Nia finally said. After I had cried myself out, after there were no more tears left. "You need to rest. Think about the baby. The baby. Lord, my baby girl, who was going to be here in less than a month, who was going to come into a world where her daddy was a lying, cheating, no-good dog." "I can't go home," I said. My voice was hoarse from crying. "That's our home. His and mine. I can't be there right now." "You staying here," Mama said. Not a question, a statement. "Your old room is still set up. You staying here until we figure this out." So Naya and Shanice went to my house to get my things, my clothes, my toiletries, some of the baby stuff from the nursery. They said Marcus wasn't there, probably still at that hotel, probably trying to figure out how to spin this, probably calling his mama, or his boys, or a lawyer. I didn't care where he was. I just knew I couldn't see him. Not yet. Not until I figured out what I was going to do, that night, lying in my childhood bedroom. At 34 years old, 8 months pregnant, I couldn't sleep. My mind wouldn't stop, kept replaying everything, every moment with Marcus, wondering what was real, what was fake, Did he ever really love me? Or was I just convenient? Just the wife at home while he played around? My phone kept buzzing. Marcus calling, Marcus texting. Tasha, please answer. We need to talk. I can explain everything. Please, baby. Don't do this. Think about Amara. Think about our family. Our family? He had the nerve, the audacity, to talk about our family. After what he did? I blocked his number. But then he started calling from other numbers. His mama's phone, his sister's phone. Numbers I didn't recognize. Tasha, this is Denise. Marcus's mama. Baby, I know my son messed up. But y'all need to talk. Work this out. For the baby. For the baby. Everybody kept saying that. Like having a baby meant I had to accept being disrespected, being cheated on, being lied to. For years, I didn't answer any of them. 3 days went by. 3 days of me at my mama's house, trying to process, trying to breathe, trying to figure out what to do. My girls came by every day, bringing food, bringing supplies, bringing love. Nia brought me information too, because Nia ain't the type to just sit around. She'd been doing research. Okay, so here's what I found out, she said, sitting on my bed with her laptop. Amber Clark, 26 years old, works at a dental office as a receptionist, lives in a 1-bedroom apartment in Buckhead. Rent is $2,200 a month. How you find all this out? I asked. Girl, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and a little bit of detective work. Nia was a paralegal. She knew how to find information. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Her rent is $2,200, but she only makes about $35,000 a year at that dental office. Even with roommates, that don't add up. I sat up straighter. What are you saying? I'm saying Marcus been paying her rent. Had to be. 'Cause the math ain't mathing otherwise. My stomach dropped. And that hotel room? Nia continued. I called and asked how much it cost. $350 a night. He'd been booking it twice a month for the last year. According to the girl at the front desk, who I may have bribed with a 20 to tell me. Twice a month. For a year. That's $8,400, Shanice said. She was always good at math. Just on hotel rooms. Not counting the rent he paying for Amber. That's another, she calculated in her head, $26,400 a year. So he spent almost $35,000 last year. On his side chicks. Nia said it flat. Matter of fact, $35,000. Meanwhile, I was working overtime shifts, extra weekends, holidays, to help save for the baby. We had a joint savings account. For the family. For our future. For Amara's college fund. And he was draining it. To pay for apartments and hotel rooms. For other women. I need to see our bank accounts, I said. Nia pulled up her laptop. Already on it. Log in and let's see what we're working with. I logged into our joint checking account. The one where both our paychecks went. We should have had about $40,000 in there. That's what we had 3 months ago when I last checked. There was $8,216. Where did $32,000 go? I said. My voice was rising. I started clicking through transactions, cash withdrawals, $500 here, $1,000 there, $300, $700. Transfers to accounts I didn't recognize. Girl, he been draining this account DRI, Shanice said. Looking over my shoulder. What about the savings? Nia asked. The savings account. The one we'd been building for 5 years. For a down payment on a bigger house. For emergencies. For our future. Last time I checked 6 months ago, we had $78,000. I logged in with shaking hands. $23,412. He took $55,000. Out of our savings. In 6 months. Oh, hell no, Nia said. Hell no! Tasha, you need to take what's left right now, Shanice said, before he drains it all. She was right. I transferred the remaining money from both accounts into a new account, just in my name, at a different bank. $31,628. That's all that was left. Of everything we'd saved together. But at least it was something. At least he couldn't take more. My phone rang. Unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. You took the money? Marcus. His voice was tight, angry. I took the money? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Marcus, you stole over $80,000 from our accounts. To do what? Pay for your side pieces? Tasha, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. You've been out here living a double life. A triple life. While I've been home. Working my tail off. Loyal to you. Faithful to you. And you've been spending our money on other women. It's not like that. Then what is it like, Marcus? Explain it to me. Make it make sense. Silence. Tasha, I made mistakes. Mistakes? I laughed. But it wasn't funny. Nothing about this was funny. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk from the store. A mistake is missing a doctor's appointment. This is a choice. Multiple choices. Every single day for years. I still love you, he said. His voice broke. And for a split second, my heart hurt. Because I remembered when I believed him when he said that. When those words meant something. When I thought we were forever. But then I remembered. Amber's pregnant belly. That woman in the hotel. The $80,000. The lies. If this is love, I said. My voice cold now. Ice cold. Then I don't want it. And I hung up. That's when I felt it. A tightening in my belly. Sharp. Painful. Oh, I gasped, doubling over. Tasha! Nia grabbed my arm. What's wrong? I think... Another pain, sharper this time. Mama! Shanice yelled. Running to get my mama. Mama came rushing in, took one look at me. At the wetness spreading on the bed. Her water broke, she said. Calm, but firm. We need to get her to the hospital. Now. But I'm only 8 months, I said. My voice was panicking now. It's too early. She's not supposed to come yet. Not until December. It's only November. Baby, stress can bring on early labor, Mama said, helping me stand. We gotta go. Right now. Everything happened fast after that. Nia grabbed my hospital bag, the one I'd packed weeks ago, for when it was time. Shanice called 911 because Mama's house was 20 minutes from the hospital, and she wasn't taking chances. Kimberly called the hospital, told them we were coming, told them I was in premature labor. The ambulance came, neighbors coming outside to look. 'Cause you know how that is. Ambulance on a black folks street, everybody gotta come see what's happening. They loaded me in. Nia rode with me. Mama and the others followed in Mama's car. The contractions were coming faster now, closer together. Ma'am, how far along are you? The paramedic asked. 34 weeks, I managed to say between contractions. And when did your water break? About 10 minutes ago. He nodded. Radioed ahead to the hospital. We've got a 34-week premature labor, water broken, contractions 5 minutes apart. 5 minutes. My baby was coming, whether I was ready or not, whether the world was ready or not, whether Marcus was there or not. My baby girl was coming. We got to the hospital. They rushed me into labor and delivery. Got me hooked up to monitors. IV in my arm. The doctor came in. Dr. Harris. She'd been my OB for the whole pregnancy. Tasha, she said, looking at the monitors. Baby's heart rate is good. But you're at 6 centimeters already. This baby is coming today. But she's early, I said, tears streaming down my face. Is she gonna be okay? 34 weeks is early, yes. But we have an excellent NICU team. Your baby will probably need some help breathing. Might need to stay in the hospital for a few weeks. But the survival rate at 34 weeks is very, very good. Can you stop it? I asked. The labor? We could try. But given how far along you are... And the fact that your water already broke. It's probably safer to let her come. So that was it. My baby was coming. Today, 5 weeks early. And Marcus wasn't there. Do you want us to call the father? A nurse asked. I looked at Mama, at Nia, at Shanice, at Kimberly, my people, my real family, the ones who showed up, the ones who were here. No, I said. I don't need him. I got everybody I need right here. The nurse nodded and didn't ask again. Labor was hard, harder than I thought it would be. But every time I wanted to give up, every time I thought I couldn't push anymore, I thought about my baby girl, my Amara Rose, who was coming into a complicated world, but who was going to be so loved, so protected, so cherished, not because of her daddy, but in spite of him. At 11:47 p.m. on November 15th, Amara Rose Williams came into this world, 4 pounds, 13 ounces, 17 inches long, early, but perfect. They put her on my chest for just a minute. This tiny, tiny baby, with a head full of black curly hair and lungs that worked, 'cause she was crying, loud. She's got good lungs, Dr. Harris said with a smile. That's a very good sign. Then they had to take her to the NICU to make sure she could breathe okay, to monitor her. I watched them take my baby away. This tiny person I'd grown inside me. This miracle I'd prayed for, who was now here. But I couldn't hold her yet, and I broke down again. She's gonna be fine, Mama said, holding my hand. She's strong. Just like her mama. Strong. I didn't feel strong. I felt broken, betrayed, alone. My phone buzzed. A text from a number I didn't know. I heard Tasha had the baby. Is she okay? Is the baby okay? Please tell her I'm on my way. Marcus. Somebody must have told him. No, I said out loud, handing the phone to Nia. Tell security. Marcus Williams is not allowed in my room. Not allowed to see me? Not allowed near me. Nia nodded, went to talk to the nurses. 20 minutes later, I heard commotion in the hallway. Raised voices. That's my wife! That's my daughter! Marcus. Sir, you need to calm down or we'll call security. A nurse. I am calm. I just need to see my wife. Sir, your wife has requested that you not be allowed in her room. She's upset. She don't know what she's saying. Sir, she was very clear. This is ridiculous. That's my baby. Then I heard my mama's voice. Oh, Lord, my mama. Marcus Tyrell Williams. Mama's voice was low, dangerous. The voice she used when she meant business. You got a lot of nerve. Coming up in here. After what you did. You got 2 other women pregnant. While my daughter was home being faithful to you. You stole money from y'all accounts. You lied. And now you want to play concerned husband? Nah. Not today. Not in this hospital. You need to leave. Miss Lorraine, please. Don't Miss Lorraine me. My daughter said she don't want to see you. That's it. That's all. You can see your daughter when Tasha decides you can. And not a moment before. I have rights. Rights? I heard Mama laugh, but it wasn't a happy laugh. You want to talk about rights? Let's talk about how you got Amber pregnant. Let's talk about that hotel room. Let's talk about the $80,000. You want to go there, Marcus? 'Cause I got all the receipts. And I'm sure a judge would love to hear about all your rights. Silence. Then I heard footsteps. Walking away. Mama came back into my room, face tight, but victorious. He gone, she said. For now. I nodded, too tired to even cry anymore. They let me go see Amara in the NICU an hour later, wheeled me down in a wheelchair. She was in a little clear plastic bassinet, hooked up to monitors, a tiny tube in her nose helping her breathe. But she was perfect. Perfect. 10 tiny fingers. 10 tiny toes. Her daddy's nose. My mama's chin. Hi, baby girl, I whispered, reaching through the opening to touch her little hand. She wrapped her tiny fingers around my one finger, and in that moment, looking at my daughter, my miracle, I made a decision. I was done crying over Marcus, done letting him steal my joy, done being the victim. This baby, this precious little life, was depending on me, not Marcus, not nobody else, me. And I was going to figure out how to take care of her, how to provide for her, how to give her the life she deserved, even if I had to do it alone. Especially if I had to do it alone. Mama's got you, I whispered to Amara. I promise you, baby girl. Mama's got you. And that's when everything changed. That's when the old Tasha really died. And the new Tasha was born. Right there in that NICU. Looking at my 4-pound, 13-ounce miracle. I decided I wasn't going to be broken anymore. I was going to be built. Built different. Built stronger. Built for purpose. But first, I had to get through the hardest part. The part where everything got worse before it got better. Oh yeah, girl. It got worse. Amara stayed in the NICU for 3 weeks. 3 long weeks of me going back and forth to that hospital every single day. Pumping breast milk every 3 hours. Storing it in little bottles with dates and times written on them. Sitting next to her incubator. Talking to her. Singing to her. Praying over her. Those were the hardest 3 weeks of my life. Well, up until then anyway. I was staying at Mama's house still. Couldn't bring myself to go back to the house I shared with Marcus. That house had too many memories, too many lies. Marcus kept trying to see Amara, kept calling the NICU, kept showing up at the hospital. But I had put his name on a do not allow list. He couldn't get past the security desk. He tried using his mama, tried using his sister, even tried using his lawyer. Oh yeah, Marcus got himself a lawyer. 'Cause apparently, I was being unreasonable. I got a lawyer too. Her name was Patricia Morrison. Black woman, 50-something, with locks down her back and an attitude that said, try me. First things first, Patricia said at our first meeting. She had laid out all my bank statements, all the evidence Nia had collected, everything. We're filing for divorce, citing adultery, financial infidelity, and abandonment. Abandonment? I asked. He's trying to see the baby. Where was he when you were in labor? Patricia looked at me over her glasses. Where was he when you needed him most? He abandoned you emotionally long before he physically left. She was right. He's gonna fight for custody, Patricia continued. That's a given. He's gonna paint himself as the loving father who's being kept from his child. But we have Amber, I said. We have that other woman. We have proof he's been cheating. Yes, we do. Patricia smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. It was a, I'm about to destroy him in court smile. And we have the financial records showing he drained your accounts. That's going to be key. Because Georgia is an equitable distribution state, which means marital assets are divided fairly. Not necessarily 50-50, but fairly. And a judge is not going to look kindly on a man who stole from his pregnant wife. I liked Patricia. I liked her a lot. Now, real talk, she said, leaning back in her chair. This is going to get ugly. He's going to come at you with everything. He's going to try to say you're an unfit mother, that you're keeping him from his child out of spite, that you're mentally unstable. But I'm not. I know you're not. But he's going to try. That's how these things go. Especially when the man has something to hide. He goes on offense to distract from his own mess. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to document everything. Every time he tries to contact you. Every dollar you spend on the baby. Every doctor's appointment. Every feeding. Everything. We're going to show that you are the primary caregiver. That you are capable. That you are present. And that he is not. I nodded. Started documenting. Everything. Meanwhile, Amara was getting stronger. Every day she was breathing better, eating better, growing. By day 18, they took her off the breathing tube. By day 20, she was taking full bottles. By day 21, they said she could come home. Home. I still didn't have a home. Not really. You're staying here, Mama said again. Long as you need to. But I knew I couldn't stay at Mama's forever. I was 34 years old, with a newborn. I needed my own space. But the house. Our house. Marcus's name was on that mortgage too. We need to deal with the house, I told Patricia. Already on it, she said. I've filed a motion for exclusive use of the marital home. Basically, asking the judge to let you live there and keep Marcus out. Until the divorce is finalized. Can they do that? They can. And given the circumstances, they probably will. You've got a newborn who needs a stable environment. He's got multiple addresses where he can stay. The judge is going to prioritize the baby. Sure enough. 2 weeks later, the judge granted the motion. I could move back into the house. Marcus had to stay out. But girl, when I tell you I was scared to go back to that house. I didn't know what I was going to find. Didn't know if Marcus had trashed it. Or taken stuff. Or what. Nia and Shanice came with me. Kimberly stayed at Mama's with the baby. We pulled up to the house I'd been so proud of when we bought it 6 years ago. The house where I thought we'd raise our family, grow old together. Now it just looked like a building. Bricks and windows. Not a home anymore. We walked in. Everything looked the same, but also different. Like when you look at one of those spot the difference pictures. The nursery was still set up. The crib that Marcus and I had assembled together. The changing table. The rocking chair. All the pink decorations. It made my chest tight. In our bedroom. His closet was half empty. He'd taken his stuff. Good. I didn't want to see his clothes anyway. But then I saw it. On the dresser. Our wedding photo. The one from 6 years ago. Where we both looked so happy. So in love. So naive. I picked it up. Looked at that girl in the white dress. That girl who thought she had forever with this man. And I threw it in the trash, frame and all. Crash. Glass everywhere. That's right, Nia said. Get it out. I went through the whole house. Every picture of Marcus. Every memory. Into the trash. I wasn't being petty. Okay, maybe I was a little petty, but mostly I just couldn't look at his face anymore. Couldn't look at what I thought we had. When it was all a lie. The house was mine now. Well, mine and the bank's. Still had a mortgage to pay. Which brought me to my next problem. Money. I had the $31,000 I'd saved from our accounts. But that wasn't going to last long. Mortgage was $2,200 a month. Utilities. Car payment. Insurance. Groceries. Baby stuff. Diapers. Oh Lord, the diapers. Formula. Even though I was breastfeeding, I needed backup. Doctor visits. The money was going to run out. Fast. And I was on maternity leave. Unpaid maternity leave. Because I'd already used my PTO for doctor's appointments during the pregnancy. I had 6 weeks of unpaid leave. Then I had to go back to work. Or lose my job. But who was going to watch Amara? Daycare for an infant was expensive. Like, really expensive. $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Mama offered to watch her. Baby, I'll keep her. You know I will. But Mama was 68 years old, and she had her own health issues, high blood pressure, arthritis. I couldn't ask her to take care of a newborn full-time. I was drowning. Financially, emotionally, mentally. But I couldn't show it. Couldn't let anyone see me crack. Because if I cracked, if I fell apart, Marcus's lawyer would use it against me. Would say I was unstable, unfit. So I held it together, by a thread. But I held it together. When Amara was 6 weeks old, I went back to work, back to Grady Hospital, back to 12-hour shifts, back to being on my feet all day, dealing with patients, dealing with doctors, dealing with life or death situations, while my heart was breaking, while I was exhausted from feeding Amara every 3 hours at night, while I was fighting a divorce, while I was barely holding on. But I smiled. I showed up. I did my job. Because I had to. because I didn't have a choice. Mama kept Amara during the day, even though I told her she didn't have to, even though I could see it was hard on her. Tasha Marie, she said to me one day, this is my grand baby. You think I'm not going to help you? You think I'm going to let you struggle alone? Chili, please. We family. We do this together. Family. My family showed up. Nia started a GoFundMe for me, without me knowing. Helped Tasha rebuild after betrayal. It raised $3,000 in the first week, from friends, family, church members, even people I didn't know. I cried when I saw it. Not sad tears, grateful tears, because I wasn't alone. Even though Marcus left me, even though he betrayed me, I wasn't alone. 3 months after Amara was born, the divorce papers were filed. Marcus contested them, of course, said he wanted to reconcile, said he'd made mistakes but he loved his family, said he wanted to go to counseling. Work it out. Do you want to try counseling? Patricia asked me. No. I didn't even hesitate. There's nothing to work out. He cheated. Multiple times. With multiple women. Got one of them pregnant. Stole our money. I'm done. Patricia nodded. Then we proceed. Marcus filed for joint custody. Wanted Amara 50% of the time. He's barely seen her, I told Patricia. He's been to the house twice in 3 months. Both times supervised. And he held her for maybe 10 minutes before handing her back. He don't know how to change a diaper. Don't know her schedule. Don't know nothing about taking care of a baby. I know, Patricia said. And we're going to make sure the judge knows that too. The custody hearing was set for June, 6 months after Amara was born. In the meantime, life was hard. Working 12-hour shifts, coming home exhausted, taking care of a baby by myself, barely sleeping, barely eating, running on coffee and anxiety. My body was wrecked, still carrying baby weight that I couldn't lose. Because who has time to work out when you're working full-time and raising a baby alone? My hair was a mess, always in a bun or under a scarf. No time for the salon. No money for the salon either. I was wearing the same rotation of scrubs to work, the same 3 pairs of jeans at home. Everything else didn't fit anymore. I was barely recognizing myself in the mirror. But Amara was thriving, growing, hitting all her milestones, smiling, laughing, being the happiest baby. And that's what kept me going. Her. Every time I wanted to give up, every time I wanted to just quit, I'd look at her and remember why I was fighting. For her. One day in March, I was at work, on my lunch break. Sitting in the break room eating a sad sandwich from the vending machine. One of the other nurses, Jennifer, sat down next to me. Hey girl, she said. How you holding up? I'm making it, I said. Standard response. You know, Jennifer said, I went through a divorce 3 years ago. Caught my ex cheating too. I looked at her. I didn't know that. It's gonna get better, she said. I know it don't feel like it now. But it does. You just gotta take it one day at a time. How long did it take? I asked. To feel better? She thought about it. Honestly, about a year before I stopped crying every day. 2 years before I stopped being angry. 3 years before I really felt like myself again. 3 years. I wanted to cry. 3 more years of feeling like this? But here's the thing, Jennifer continued. The person I became after? She's so much stronger than the person I was before. She don't take no mess. She knows her worth. She built a whole new life. And girl, my ex, tried to come back 2 years later, talking about he made a mistake. And I laughed in his face. She smiled at the memory. Because by then I had bought my own house. Got a promotion at work. Lost 50 pounds. Started traveling. Living my life. And he wanted to come back to that? After he left me broken? Nah. Something about her story. Something about knowing someone else made it through. Made it out. Gave me hope. Thank you, I said. meaning it. "Anytime, sis," she said. "Us single moms gotta stick together." That conversation stayed with me. I started thinking, what did I want my life to look like? Not in 3 years, but now. I was surviving, but I wasn't living. I was going through the motions. Work, home, baby, sleep, repeat. But what about me? What about my dreams, my goals? Before Marcus, I had wanted to go back to school, get my nurse practitioner license, make more money, have more flexibility. But then I got married. And Marcus said we should wait. Wait until we had kids. Wait until we were more stable. Wait. I'd been waiting for 6 years. Well, I was done waiting. That night, I looked up nurse practitioner programs. It was a 2-year program, cost about $40,000 total. I didn't have $40,000. But there were loans, scholarships, payment plans. I could work part-time at the hospital, go to school part-time. It would take longer, maybe 3 years instead of 2. But I could do it. I applied, didn't tell anybody at first, because I didn't want to jinx it, and because part of me thought I wouldn't get in. But in April, I got the acceptance letter. "We are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted into the nurse practitioner program at Emory University." I screamed, right there in my kitchen, scared Amara, who was in her bouncer. Had to pick her up and calm her down. But I was happy. Like, genuinely happy. For the first time in months, I was going to go back to school. I was going to better myself. I was going to build a future for me and Amara. I called Mama, called Nia, called Shanice, called Kimberly. They were all so proud. "See?" Mama said. "I told you God was going to make a way." The custody hearing came in June. I walked into that courthouse in a black pantsuit I'd bought from TJ Maxx, hair done, makeup on, looking together, even though I was nervous as hell. Marcus was there with his lawyer, looking good too, in an expensive suit, clean cut, like he had his life together. But I knew better. The hearing lasted 4 hours. Marcus's lawyer tried to paint him as the devoted father, who was being unfairly kept from his child by a vindictive mother. They tried to say I was using Amara as a weapon, to punish Marcus for his mistakes. But Patricia was ready. She brought receipts. All the receipts. Proof that Marcus had only visited Amara 12 times in 6 months. Proof that he hadn't paid a dime of child support, even though he was ordered to pay it. Proof that he had drained our accounts. Proof of Amber. Proof of the other woman. And then, Patricia called me to the stand. "Miss Williams," she said, "can you describe your daily routine with Amara?" I talked about everything. The 2 a.m. feedings, the 5 a.m. feedings, the 8 a.m. feedings, the diaper changes, the doctor's appointments, the sleepless nights when she was sick, the days I went to work exhausted, the way I did it, all, by myself. "And where was Mr. Williams during all of this?" Patricia asked. "I don't know," I said honestly. "He wasn't with us." Marcus's lawyer cross-examined me, tried to make me look bitter, angry, unreasonable. "Isn't it true that you're trying to punish Mr. Williams?" "No," I said calmly. "I'm trying to protect my daughter from a man who has proven he's unreliable." "Isn't it true you blocked him from seeing the baby in the hospital?" "Yes, because I had just found out he had been cheating on me. With multiple women. While I was pregnant. And I was in labor. Alone. Because he was at a hotel with another woman." The courtroom was silent. "I wasn't trying to punish him," I continued. "I was trying to survive. To give birth safely. Without the stress of seeing the man who betrayed me." Marcus's lawyer looked flustered. Sat down. The judge took a break to review everything. Came back 30 minutes later. "I've reviewed the evidence," the judge said. "A black woman, probably in her 50s, with natural hair and no-nonsense glasses. And it's clear to me that Miss Williams has been the primary caregiver. That she has provided a stable home for this child. That she has made sacrifices to ensure her daughter's well-being. Mr. Williams, on the other hand, has failed to pay child support, has failed to establish a consistent presence in his daughter's life, and has demonstrated a pattern of irresponsibility. Therefore, I am awarding primary physical custody to Miss Williams. Mr. Williams will have supervised visitation every other Saturday for 4 hours until he can demonstrate that he is capable of caring for the child independently. Child support is set at $1,200 per month, backdated to the child's birth. Mr. Williams, you owe 6 months of back support. That's $7,200, to be paid within 60 days. Court is adjourned. The gavel came down, and I won. I won. I walked out of that courtroom, into the bright June sunshine, and I breathed. For the first time in 7 months, I felt like I could breathe. Marcus caught up to me in the parking lot. Tasha, wait. I stopped, turned around. He looked defeated, tired, smaller than I remembered. I'm sorry, he said, for everything. I messed up. I know I did. But I want to be in Amara's life. I want to be a good father. I looked at this man I'd loved for 9 years, this man who destroyed me, and I felt nothing, not anger, not sadness, nothing. You can be in her life, I said, every other Saturday. 4 hours. Supervised. Like the judge said. But Tasha, Marcus, I'm done. Done arguing. Done fighting. Done caring about your feelings. You had a chance to be a good father, to be a good husband, and you chose not to be. So now you get what you get. I got in my car and drove away, leaving him standing there. That was the last real conversation I had with Marcus. Everything after that was through lawyers, through the court, through child support enforcement. I was done with him. And honey, that's when my real transformation began. I started school that fall. It was hard. Working part-time, going to school part-time, taking care of Amara. But I did it. I lost the baby weight. Not by starving myself, but by being too busy to eat junk food, by walking Amara in her stroller every evening, by taking care of myself because I finally wanted to. I started doing my hair again, got my locks started. Something I'd always wanted, but Marcus said looked unprofessional. Turns out I loved them, loved the way they made me feel, connected to my roots, to myself. I started dressing better. Not expensive clothes, but clothes that fit. That made me feel good. That made me feel like me. I started therapy. Yeah, therapy. Because I realized I had trauma to work through. Not just from Marcus, but from years of making myself small, of putting everyone else first, of not believing I deserved better. Therapy taught me things about boundaries, about self-worth, about the difference between love and codependency. It taught me that Marcus's betrayal wasn't about me. It was about him, his issues, his brokenness, his inability to be faithful. It wasn't because I wasn't pretty enough, or thin enough, or sexy enough, or enough in any way. I was enough. I had always been enough. He just wasn't the man I thought he was. And that was okay, because I didn't need him to be. I was building my own life, without him. Amara turned 1 in November. We had a party at Mama's house, pink and gold balloons, a cake shaped like a crown. Amara is 1. All my people were there. Mama, my sisters, my girls, Amara's little cousins. Marcus came, for his supervised 4 hours, brought a gift, a big teddy bear. He looked uncomfortable, out of place, because this was my family, my people, my life. He was just a visitor now. After the party, after everyone left, after I put Amara to bed, I sat in her nursery, in the rocking chair, watching her sleep. This beautiful little girl, with a head full of curly hair, and her daddy's nose, and my stubbornness. And I thought about everything I'd been through, everything I'd survived, the betrayal, the heartbreak, The financial struggle, the court battles, the sleepless nights, the fear, the doubt, all of it. And I realized something. I was proud of myself. Proud that I didn't stay. Proud that I fought for my daughter. Proud that I went back to school. Proud that I was building something. I wasn't the same woman who sat at that baby shower 7 months pregnant and naive. I was stronger now, wiser now, better now, and I was just getting started. Because see, girl, what I didn't know then, what I couldn't have imagined then, was how good my life was about to get, how much I was about to rise, how much Marcus was about to regret. But that's the thing about hitting rock bottom. The only way to go is UP. And honey, I was about to soar. 2 years after that baby shower, 2 years after my world fell apart. I graduated from the nurse practitioner program, top of my class, with a 4.0 GPA, while working part-time and raising a toddler by myself. The graduation ceremony was at Emory. Mama was there, crying proud tears. My sisters were there. My girls were there. Even Amara was there, 2 years old, in a little pink dress, clapping when I walked across that stage. "That's my mama," she yelled, and everybody laughed. Marcus wasn't there. I didn't invite him, didn't want him there. This was my moment, my achievement, something I did for me. After graduation, I got a job at a private practice in Buckhead, the nice part of Atlanta, where the money was, making $95,000 a year. $95,000, more than double what I was making as a floor nurse. First thing I did? Paid off my student loans, all of them, in one payment. Second thing? Started saving, really saving. 'Cause I remembered what it felt like to have $31 in my account, to not know how I was going to pay the mortgage, to be one emergency away from losing everything. I was never going back to that. Third thing? I bought myself something nice. A car, a nice car, nothing crazy. But a brand new Lexus SUV, burgundy, with the cream leather seats and all the safety features. For me and Amara. When I drove it off the lot, I cried. Because 3 years ago, I was taking the bus to work, while Marcus was buying his side chick cars. Now I was buying my own. With my money, that I earned. Nobody could take this from me. I took Amara to the park that day, in our new car, and this little boy came up to her. "Your car is pretty," he said. "That's my mama's car," Amara said proudly. "My mama's car." Girl, I got teary-eyed right there on that playground. Things were good, really good. I moved us out of that house, the one I shared with Marcus, the one with all those memories. Bought a townhouse in Decatur, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a little backyard, just me and Amara. Decorated it however I wanted. No asking anyone's opinion, no compromise, just my taste. Painted Amara's room purple, her favorite color, got her a big girl bed shaped like a princess carriage. My room was all cream and gold, peaceful, mine. For the first time in my adult life, I had a space that was completely mine, and it felt good. Marcus was still doing his every other Saturday visits, still supervised, because he'd missed so many. The court had extended the supervision. He'd see Amara for his 4 hours, take her to the park or McDonald's, then bring her back. She'd come home and barely talk about him. "Did you have fun with Daddy?" I'd ask. "It was okay," she'd shrug. "Can I have a snack?" She didn't really know him, not like she knew me, or Mama, or my sisters, or Nia. I was her everything, and honestly, that made me sad for her. Every little girl should have a good daddy. But I couldn't control that. I couldn't make Marcus be a good father. I could only be the best mother I could be, and that's what I focused on. Amara and I had our routine. I'd drop her at Mama's in the morning, work my shift at the practice, pick her up in the evening. We'd have dinner together, bath time, story time, bedtime. Weekends were for us. We'd go to the zoo, the aquarium, the children's museum, the park. I was present. In a way my own mama couldn't always be, because she was working multiple jobs, struggling. But I had the resources now, the time now, to give Amara experiences, memories, love. And she was thriving, happy, confident, smart as a whip. She'd started pre-K, and her teachers loved her. Amara is so bright, they'd tell me at conferences. She's reading above grade level. She's kind to the other children. She's a leader. I'd sit there and just beam, because that's my baby, my daughter, who I raised, by myself, and she was turning out amazing. 3 years after the divorce was finalized, I was living my best life. I'd lost 60 pounds, not trying to. Just from being active, from stress being gone, from actually taking care of myself. My locks were down to my shoulders now. Beautiful. Healthy. Me. I'd started traveling. Took Amara to Disney World. Just the two of us. Saw her face light up when she met the princesses. Watched her scream with joy on the teacup ride. Made memories that would last forever. Took a girls' trip to Jamaica with Nia and Shanice. First time I'd been out of the country. First time I'd been on a beach in years. Drank rum punch. Danced to reggae. Got my hair braided on the beach. Flirted with a fine Jamaican man named Devin. Nothing serious. Just fun. Just living. Started dating. Casually. Nothing serious. Because honestly, I wasn't ready for serious. But it was nice. To feel desired again. To feel seen. To remember that I was more than just a mama. More than just Marcus's ex-wife. I was Tasha. A whole person. With interests and desires and dreams. One day in October, 4 years after that baby shower, I was at work, seeing patients, doing what I loved. And my phone buzzed. Text from a number I didn't have saved. But I recognized it. Marcus. Can we talk? It's important. I sighed. We hadn't really talked in over a year. Everything went through the court system. Child support, visitation, everything. But he said it was important, so I responded. What about? Can I come by? Tonight after you get off? No, you can't come to my house. My house. That he'd never been to. That he'd never see the inside of. Can we meet somewhere then? Please? Something in that please made me curious. Panera on Ponce, 7 p.m. Thank you. That evening, after I dropped Amara at Mama's, I went to Panera. Marcus was already there, sitting at a table in the back. And girl. When I tell you he looked rough, he'd gained weight. A lot of weight. Had to be 30, 40 pounds. His hair was thinning. Stress, probably. He looked tired, worn out. Older than his 38 years. I, on the other hand, walked in wearing my scrubs from work. Yeah, just scrubs, but they fit nice. Hair in a high bun, locks looking healthy, skin glowing, face clear, minimal makeup, because I didn't need much anymore. 60 pounds lighter, confident, happy. I saw him see me. Saw his eyes widen. Saw something flash across his face. Regret, maybe? Shock? I sat down across from him. What's up, Marcus? He stared at me for a second. You look good, Tasha. Really good. Thank you. I didn't return the compliment, because he didn't look good, and I wasn't about to lie. So what did you want to talk about? He shifted in his seat, uncomfortable. I wanted to talk to you about us. Us? I raised an eyebrow. There is no us, Marcus. We've been divorced for 3 years. I know. He held up his hands. But I've been thinking about everything. About what I did. About what I lost. Oh, Lord, here we go. Marcus, just hear me out, please. I sat back, crossed my arms. Talk. I messed up, Tasha. I know I did. What I did to you, it was unforgivable. I cheated. I lied. I hurt you in ways I can't even fully understand. You got that right. And I've been going to therapy, working on myself, trying to figure out why I did what I did. Good for you. My voice was flat. What does this have to do with me? I want another chance. I blinked. Excuse me? I want us to try again. I'm a different person now. I've changed. I can be the man you deserved the first time. I stared at him. Then I laughed. Not a polite laugh, a real laugh. From my belly. You can't be serious. I am serious. He leaned forward. Tasha, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. And I threw it away. But I've grown. I've learned. And I think we could be good together again. Marcus. I stopped laughing. My face went serious. Do you know where I was when you decided to cheat on me with Amber? He looked down. I was home. Praying for a baby. Going through my second miscarriage. Alone. Because you were working late. And where were you? He didn't answer. You were with her. Starting a 2-year relationship. While I was home bleeding. Grieving. Alone. Tasha, do you know where I was when you got Amber pregnant? I was 6 months pregnant with your daughter. Your daughter. Who we'd been trying for years. And you were out there making another baby. Do you know where I was when I gave birth to Amara? I was in a hospital bed. Alone. In premature labor because of the stress you caused. While you were at a hotel. With another woman. His face was red now. Do you know where I was when you were draining our bank accounts? I was working double shifts. Saving every penny. So our daughter could have a good life. While you were spending my money on women who weren't your wife. Tasha, I know. No, you don't know. I leaned forward now, looking him dead in his eyes. You don't know what it's like to give birth alone. To bring a baby home to an empty house. To survive on 3 hours of sleep. To work full-time and go to school and raise a child. By yourself. You don't know what it's like to choose between paying the mortgage and buying diapers. To have panic attacks in the shower because you're so stressed. To cry yourself to sleep wondering how you're gonna make it. You don't know. Because you weren't there. He was quiet now. And now? I sat back. Now you come to me. 4 years later. After I've built a whole life. Without you. After I've healed. After I've grown. After I've succeeded. Now you want to come back? Tasha, I made mistakes. Mistakes? I shook my head. Marcus, mistakes are accidental. What you did was intentional. You chose to cheat. You chose to lie. You chose to abandon your family. Every single day for years. Those were choices. And you know what I choose? I choose me. I choose Amara. I choose peace. I choose a life where I don't have to wonder if my man is lying. Or cheating. Or stealing from me. I choose a life where I'm respected. Where I'm valued. Where I'm enough. And Marcus? That life doesn't include you. He looked like I'd slapped him. But Tasha, I've changed. Good. I'm glad you changed. Therapy is good for you. Keep doing that. But I don't need you anymore. I don't want you anymore. That woman you were married to? The one who put you first? Who made your plate before hers? Who believed your lies? Who thought you'd change? She's dead, Marcus. You killed her. The day you brought your mess to my baby shower. But you know what? I'm glad you did. He looked shocked. Because if you hadn't, I'd probably still be with you. Still making excuses for you. Still settling for crumbs. Still thinking that was love. But it wasn't love. It was codependency. It was me losing myself to keep a man who didn't deserve me. And I'm not that woman anymore. I stood up. I'm Tasha Marie Williams. Nurse practitioner. Homeowner. Mother. Survivor. I make $95,000 a year. I own my own car. I own my own house. I put myself through school. while raising a child. Alone. I'm strong. I'm successful. I'm happy. And I did all of that. Without you. I picked up my purse. So no, Marcus. We're not getting back together. We're not trying again. We're not even friends. You're my daughter's father. That's it. That's all you get to be. And honestly, you should be grateful for that. Because a lot of women wouldn't even give you that much. Goodbye, Marcus. And I walked out. Out of that Panera. Out of his life. Out of that chapter. For good. I got in my car, started the engine, and I felt light. Like I'd just put down 100 pounds of weight I'd been carrying. He really thought he could come back. After everything. After years. And I'd just... What? Fall into his arms? Be grateful? Take him back? Like I hadn't built a whole new life without him. Ha! Chilly men. Some of them really think they're the prize. When really, they're just the lesson. I drove to Mama's house, picked up Amara. Mama! She yelled, running to me. 4 years old now. All legs and energy and joy. I scooped her up, hugged her tight. Hey, my baby girl. Grandma made me mac and cheese. Did she? Uh-huh. And we watched Frozen. That sounds perfect. I carried her to the car, buckled her in, drove us home. To our house. The one we lived in. The one filled with our memories. Happy memories. That night, after Amara was in bed, I sat on my couch, in my living room, in my house, with a glass of wine, and my gratitude journal. Something my therapist had me start, writing down 3 things I was grateful for every day. Today, I wrote, I'm grateful for the strength to walk away from what doesn't serve me. I'm grateful for my daughter, who reminds me every day what real love looks like. I'm grateful for the woman I've become. And it was true. All of it. 5 years after that baby shower, I got promoted. Not just promoted, made partner at the practice. Williams Family Practice. My name on the door, making $130,000 a year, plus profit sharing. I was making more than Marcus ever made. And I'd done it all myself. Bought a house, not a townhouse, a whole house, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, a backyard with a swing set, a 2-car garage, in a good school district, for me and Amara. She was in kindergarten now, reading chapter books, doing math problems, making friends, still asking about her daddy sometimes. Why doesn't Daddy live with us? Because Daddy and I aren't married anymore, baby. But that doesn't mean he doesn't love you. Even though I wasn't sure he did love her, at least not the way a father should. But I'd never say that to her. She'd figure it out on her own eventually. Marcus had started missing visits. Work stuff. Emergencies. Same excuses, different day. Amara would be disappointed. For about 5 minutes. Then she'd shrug and ask if we could go to the park instead. She was resilient. Like her mama. I started dating seriously. Met a man named David. Civil engineer. Never been married. No kids. Good man. Really good man. Respected my time. Respected my boundaries. Was patient with the fact that I had a child. That I was busy. That I wasn't going to rush into anything. We'd been together for 8 months. Taking it slow. He'd met Amara. She liked him. He's nice, Mama. And he's funny. High praise from a 5-year-old. David wasn't perfect. But he was present. He was honest. He was faithful. And he treated me like I was valuable. Not because of what I could do for him, but because of who I was. That's what I deserved. That's what I was worth. 7 years after the baby shower, I ran into Amber. At Target, of all places. I was in the baby section, looking for a birthday gift for my niece, and I saw her, pushing a cart with a little boy in it. About 6 years old, light-skinned, curly hair, Marcus's son. Had to be. He looked just like Amara. Amber saw me. Her face went pale. Tasha. Amber. We stood there, in the baby section of Target, 7 years after she'd shown up at my baby shower. How are you? She asked. I'm good, I said. And I meant it. Really good. I'm glad. She looked down. I've thought about you over the years. Wondered how you were doing. I'm sure. I just want you to know, she said. I'm sorry. For everything. I really didn't know he was married. I know, I said. And I did believe her. You were played too. Yeah. She laughed bitterly. I was. He left me when Caleb was 2. She gestured to the little boy. Found out he was cheating on me. With someone else? Of course he was. I'm sorry, I said. And I meant that too. Don't be. She smiled sadly. I dodged a bullet. Better to find out then than later. How is he? She asked. Marcus? Does he see Amara? Sometimes, I said, when he feels like it. Which isn't often. Same with Caleb. She shook her head. He pays child support because the court makes him. But that's about it. I'm sorry your son doesn't have a good father, I said. Every child deserves that. Yeah, she agreed. But at least they have good mamas. We smiled at each other. 2 women who'd been pitted against each other by the same man, who had both survived, who had both moved on. Take care of yourself, Amber. You too, Tasha. And we went our separate ways. 10 years after the baby shower. Amara was 10 years old. Beautiful, smart, confident. She'd stopped asking about Marcus years ago. He'd faded out of her life gradually, missed more visits than he made. Eventually stopped coming altogether. Still paid child support, because the court made him. But that was it. She had her uncles, my brother, my cousins, male figures who showed up, who loved her, who were present. She didn't need Marcus. She was fine without him. Better than fine. She was thriving. I'd been with David for 4 years now. He'd proposed. On Christmas morning, in front of Amara and my whole family. I said yes. Not because I needed a man, but because I wanted him. In my life, as my partner. We were planning a small wedding, next summer, on the beach in Savannah. Amara was going to be my flower girl. She was so excited. Life was good, better than I'd ever imagined it could be. I'd published a book. Yeah, a book. From Broken to Blessed. A single mother's journey to healing. It wasn't a bestseller or anything, but it sold, helped women, got good reviews. This book saved my life. I needed this story. Thank you for sharing your truth. Messages like that made it all worth it. I'd started a nonprofit. Second Chances, helping single mothers. With childcare assistance, job training, education scholarships. Everything I'd needed and more. Because I remembered being broke, being scared, being alone. And if I could help even one woman not feel that way, it was worth it. Marcus reached out one more time. Amara's 10th birthday. Sent a text. Can I come to her party? I showed Amara. What do you think, baby? It's your party. Your decision. She thought about it. Will it make you sad if he comes, Mama? My heart, this child, always worried about me. No, baby. I'll be fine. This is about you, not me. Then he can come. But just for a little bit. So he came. To the party at our house. Our house. The big house with the backyard, where 20 kids were running around, playing games, eating cake, having fun. Marcus showed up with a gift, looked around, at the house, at the decorations, at Amara. She ran up to him. Hi, Daddy. Still sweet, still innocent, still hoping he'd be what she needed. Hey, Princess. He hugged her, looked uncomfortable. Thanks for inviting me. He said to me. Thank Amara. It was her choice. He stayed for 30 minutes. Gave Amara her gift, a doll she was too old for, because he didn't know her. Then he left. I got somewhere I gotta be. Of course he did, after he left. Amara came up to me. Mama? Yeah, baby? I'm glad I have you. I hugged her tight. I'm glad I have you too, baby girl. And I realized, in that moment, Marcus leaving was the best thing that could have happened to me. Because if he hadn't, I'd still be that woman, the one making his plate first, the one ignoring the red flags, the one settling for less than I deserved. But he did leave. And I survived. More than survived. I thrived. I built a life, a business, a family, a future, without him, despite him. And I was happy. Genuinely, deeply, truly happy. Not because I had a man, though David was wonderful, but because I had myself. I had found me again. The me that got lost somewhere in that marriage. The me who forgot she was enough. I remembered now. And no man would ever make me forget that again. Today, I'm 44 years old. Amara is 12, in middle school, on the honor roll, playing soccer, learning piano, being amazing. David and I got married 2 years ago. Small ceremony, beach in Savannah. Just like I wanted. He's a good husband, a good stepfather to Amara, a good partner. We just found out I'm pregnant. Yeah, at 44, didn't think it was possible. But here we are. Amara's excited about being a big sister. David's over the moon. And me? I'm cautiously optimistic, grateful, blessed. Marcus heard about it somehow, sent a text. Congratulations. I didn't respond. Because his opinion, his presence, doesn't matter to me anymore. He's just Amara's biological father. That's it. That's all. The real men in our lives are the ones who show up, who are present, who love without conditions. My brother, my male cousins, David. Those are the men who matter. I run my practice. I run my nonprofit. I'm writing another book. I'm raising my daughter. I'm married to a good man. I'm living. And every day, I'm grateful for that baby shower. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Because that day, that painful, devastating, horrible day, was the day I got my life back. It was the day I stopped living for a man who didn't deserve me and started living for myself, for my daughter, for my future. So if you're reading this, or listening to this, or hearing this story somehow, and you're in that place, that dark place, where you've just been betrayed, where your world just fell apart, where you don't know how you're going to survive, let me tell you something. You will survive. You will heal. You will rise. It won't be easy. It won't be quick. It won't be without pain. But you will make it. And one day, maybe 5 years from now, maybe 10, you're going to look back, and you're going to thank that betrayal. Not because you're glad it happened, but because you're glad about who you became. Because of it, you're going to be stronger, wiser, more yourself than you've ever been. And when that man, the one who broke you, when he comes crawling back, and he will come back, they always do, when they see you winning, you're going to look at him, and you're going to feel nothing, not anger, not pain, not even satisfaction, just nothing. Because you'll have moved so far past him that he won't even be a thought anymore. That's the real revenge, girl. Not getting back at them, but getting so good that they become irrelevant. So to every woman out there who's been cheated on, lied to, betrayed, abandoned, you are not broken. You are breaking through. You are not less than. You are becoming more. You are not the victim. You are the survivor, the thriver, the overcomer. And your story, your real story, is just beginning. My name is Tasha Marie Williams, and I survived the worst day of my life to live the best days of my life. And if I can do it, so can you. Thank you for listening to my story. If it helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. If you're going through it right now, know that you're not alone. And if you've already made it to the other side, congratulations, sis. You did that. Remember, they didn't break you. They freed you. Now go build the life you deserve. Bless up.